Hello, operators. So for some of you, you may have seen an early release that came out on YouTube that was up for a little bit and taken down. YouTube kind of pulled one on me. They did kind of an automatic upload on me, or publishing when they weren't supposed to. So it was a little premature. So I apologize for that. The release is now out. Now it's out. Today is, what is today? The 11th, April 11th. The new patch has just landed. We are in 179, as you can see in my lower right corner here. Patch 179 is up. From what you're going to see is the original video that I had uploaded. There are two changes and some additions. The two changes is that in the final patch notes, two things were omitted that were originally in there that you're going to hear me talk about, and I will make a note when they come up. But the first is fixed an issue with emergency lights would sometimes turn on after loading save progress. That did not make it into the final patch notes. I don't know if that was an oversight or if it never made it in, or meaning into the actual game. The other is the improved tooltips about the hatches and fuel and all that. So those two are not in there. I'll make a note. You'll see them pop up on the video. But let's get into the original video, and then I'm going to have the addendum at the end. And here we go. Hello? Is this thing on? Hello, operators. Welcome back. I am Leonidas, and it's been a little while. Thank you to all of you who have reached out and said, hey, where'd you go? I haven't gone anywhere. Just taking a little time off. Playing the game, honing my skills. I kind of did a bunch of startups and guides and tutorials, but today, you know what today is. It's patch day. Now, those of you with the keen sense of calling me out and noticing the little details, yes, you're going to see a patch 178 down here in the corner. However, let's turn down the music. I am doing this before this next patch comes out, because what we've been privy to is the patch notes early. So I'm recording this ahead of time, and there may be more that I'll tack on at the end, but that's what you are getting here. So I got to tell you, I'm pretty excited. There's some awesome things. So I'm going to go through them now and explain these. We're going to read them together, and then in another video, I will show them, demonstrate them. So without further ado, now that I just dropped my mic off my desk, let's get going. Okay, number one. Fixed an issue where the control rod temperature was too low when the rods were almost completely removed from the core. That just has to do with control rod temperature, especially the gauge. It was basically always sat at 0, if I remember right. So I think that update just fixes those. Number two, fixed an issue where the always run toggle sometimes triggered a screenshot. That's me. When I would try and do always run, instead of having to hold shift, what is the key? I think shift R. It would just take a screenshot instead and wouldn't work. So sounds like that has been fixed. I like that. Fixed an issue where speed did not increase when climbing the stairs if the always run toggle was enabled. Okay, so I guess if you had always run on when you went upstairs, you kind of went back to walking speed, and that's been fixed. That is neat. Number, what is this? 4. Fix the labeling of the secondary circuit circulation pump power keys. Fix the labeling of the secondary circuit. What I think this is, there was some, just some text on the console itself that was off a little bit, and I think that's what that is. Just fixing that. Yeah, moving on. Let's see. Fixed an issue in the evaporator valve 1 locator where the player would be transported when attempting to manually operate it. Okay, this is valve A3, I think it was, or maybe it's 1. Valve 1, or A1, I guess. And if you went to it and you turned it, I think you like moved with the water. It would just kind of send you down the pipe, as I recall. So a fix there, a bug squashed. Next, fixed the footstep sound effect volume mixer being on ambient when it should have been effects. Okay, what this meant was when you walk around, if your footsteps are too loud, before you... it was on ambient. You had to turn on the ambient volume slider instead of effects to get that to change, and so it's just been switched to a different volume control slider. Fixed an insufficient internal energy error that occurred when activating some high demand components. I got that one a lot, especially the pressurizer you'd get that red message. Sometimes you get the alarm, so I assume it fixes that, which is cool. Fixes a bug that caused core hatches to appear in incorrect positions after loading a save game. So what would happen here is people would load a game, and the hatches would be open, like stuck open, even though they weren't. It was just a visual bug. So looks like we fixed that. Added fuel blocks to the maintenance report, including the amount of fissile material available, integrity, and location of each blocks. Yes, Bangarang Rufio. So this is awesome. Now, when you do a maintenance report, it will tell you how much is left. The life left on the block, instead of having to guess or use the thermal gauge to figure that out over on the fuel panel. So that is neat. That's a good one. Added external power outages. Ooh, added external power outages due to weather conditions or scheduled shutdowns, except that it's translatable. So here's more catastrophes. Weather consequences. It looks like during bad weather or sometimes scheduled shutdowns, you won't be able to attach to external power. So you'll have that little green switch at the power station, flip it on, like when you're shut down, and it won't work. So it sounds like we're actually going to finally use the backup power generator sets for more than just 4 seconds when the power goes out. Because we've messed something up with the turbines. Added, let's see, where'd I go? Added the crane for operational movements of fuel blocks and control rods. Okay, here it is. The crane makes its glorious return to move fuel blocks and control rods. That's going to take some experimentation. This one next one leads into that. Added the option within the tablet's operational control app to remotely control the crane. So yeah, we'll have to see what that looks like. That'll be exciting. A lot of people kind of missed the crane. That was what took so long for this update to come back, was problems with the crane. So glad the developer got that worked out. Improved tooltips and warnings related to the operation of the core pistons and hatches. That probably has to do with everybody being confused, like, why isn't this working? And why can't I open the hatch and load fuel or remove fuel or whatever? Sounds like more information here. And this one is the one that I might be the most excited about. Adjusted power demand progression based on player level, game difficulty, and maximum installed power. So here we go. Demand's going to go above 11, 12, 16 megawatts or whatever it was. And here's the new stages. Level 1 through 10, up to about 133 megawatts increasing. Starts at 10 megawatts and works its way up to 133. So at level 10, it could be demanding 133 megawatts from you. That's impressive. Next, we have level 11 to 15, 133 megawatts stable. I don't know what stable means. Required power near the top. I don't know what that means. Okay. Level 16 to 20 up to 400 megawatts and increasing. Level 21 to 40 up to 1,600 megawatts. Now we're talking. So now there's an incentive to get those levels up and work your way up and do all that. So that sounds exciting. Again, I may have an addendum to this when I actually post it in case the developer adds more. Okay, so for the last additions for in this new finalized patch 179 notes, I'll put them up on the screen here. The first is added a flickering effect to the game speed icon. Okay, so I guess we'll have to play around and see what that one is, but he's added just an effect to the icon of the faster game speed. Next is added a selector to modify the frequency of catastrophe type events if enabled. Oh, okay. All right, so hopefully that's turning up things. Some people, a lot of complaints were, man, are catastrophes on? Because I hardly ever see them. So more trouble on the way. The last one is normalized sounds when walking or running on different types of terrain. So that's just a sound increase. Now, another large addition that was made in addition to the crane is the web server. There's a new developer that's on, not developer, he's a contributor, who's adding a bunch of stuff in the web server. If you want to know more about that, you need to join the Discord. In the Discord patch notes, there's a lot more on it. and there's a whole web server channel where you can find out more about that, and you can create your own havoc basically. I don't want to go into it here, but that's the big one. So the crane is the other thing that the developer is really excited about. I wanted to read his notes on this one from Steam. It says, new update available, the crane is back and better than ever. You can use the crane to install new fuel assemblies, remove spent fuel, insert or remove control rods. And they can be broken, it looks like. You can manually move the crane, or there's the option on the tablet to do it automatically or remotely, I guess. And if you're in the crisis state, the red level alarms, I think that's the red room of doom, lights that go on, then you cannot do it remotely and you have to go do it manually, it says. The crane can be powered by diesel generators, emergency batteries, external power grid, and turbine energy. It also has its own emergency battery rack. It says, although total blackouts are rare, if you're up there when one happens, there's no one to rescue you. So keep that in mind. If the crane takes damage or its remote receiver fails, AO can repair it. So there's always that option. And anyway, you're going to see me probably post a video tomorrow, Saturday the 12th is when I'll jump in and actually look at some of the stuff. I have a charity golf event that I'm actually leaving in minutes from right now. And that'll take up my time tomorrow. But check out my next video where we're actually going to look at these things. We'll play with them. We'll get excited. It'll be fun. Thanks so much for stopping by. Again, I am Leonidas. This is Nucleares, and we'll see you again soon.